but like, is there a general process for trying to let desktop inform mobile, or do you pretty much start from ground zero at that point?
No, I would say style. Like this is something we're working on right now with the client Chris and I were just talking about it today, and it happened to work because they're looking at a lot of sites they like with fluid width design, which is why we're seeing all those huge images now, because it's a lot easier to just kind of let 100% of everything just take over the screen. That way you can start at mobile, it's 100%, you go to desktop, it's 100%. But yeah, to answer that question, I think we just kind of take the design and don't tell them that we're going to do that, and just steal the style. I think that's the biggest thing. Most people are focused on style more so than, our navigation has the 3 levels of drop downs. It's like, well, how's that going to work for a user on a mobile device that has to go through and touch everything? So we don't really say anything, just kind of overhaul it and present it to them. As long as the main theme is there, I think we've been pretty lucky in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer that's probably because most people are copying off of current standards, which just happen to work.
Right.
How much time do you guys actually spend on like SEO, or do you tag it onto the back after client pays their balance, or closes the job? What?
I would say we do a lot of the technical SEO as part of the development process. But like
As far as what? Technical?
Microdata, like schema.org stuff. There's stuff you can put right in the HTML tags to define some of your SEO. So like if you do a search, I can't even think, something that returns like those 5 stars or a rating, there's probably microdata on that site referencing it so that Google can read those stars back. So that type of stuff we're just trying to do in development. But if a client wants us to generate content for them, or do link building and that stuff, it's kind of all after launch. We just make sure it's ready to be SEO friendly, but it's not normally something we're selling unless clients are asking.
When do you rebrand? We got to talk about this rocket ship, man.
Do you like that? I thought the animation was pretty good.
Yeah, let's see it again. I also like how you did this up and to the right graph here to be like, yeah, I want my business to look like that.
Yeah, this is a client presentation.
No, it's really, so something that obviously we're focusing on now, like, you've done a lot more e-commerce stuff than we have, but obviously Frank's is moving in that direction, which is exciting. So like, what challenges do you see e-commerce that's harder in mobile than it is on the web?
Just had this problem last week too. I think it's just the stigma of people entering a credit card into their phone. It's just not something they're used to. Kind of like 15 years ago, my parents were like nervous of putting their credit card in a website.
Yeah.
It's kind of been ubiquitous now. But honestly, there's no like technical limitation. Well, you guys know that too. There's no technical limitation. It's just I think it's weird for people to feel like I'm going to put my credit card in the phone.
Like mental barrier, or like it sucks to enter it on a keyboard on a mobile device?
Mental barrier. I mean, I just did like the Uber sign up like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, that was easy.
Yeah.
I think we get a lot of sales on our site from mobile devices, and mostly from PayPal.
Yeah.
People, it's a lot easier for me to get on there, and they're already on a mobile device. Like 27% of our sales come from a mobile device, and we just get on there and use PayPal.
Honestly, that's
one
probably what it is.
All your stuff is there.
They probably feel that's more secure.
I've always had this theory that the reason that native apps have sort of outperformed hybrid or mobile web stuff is that people just hate putting in URLs. Like just typing in general on a smartphone is a little bit clumsier, and not that you can't do it, but if you have the alternative, most people go for the one-touch thing. Is there going to be any solutions? Do you know anything about Apple Pay for remote or for web? Are they going to be doing anything? No idea.
Didn't they partner with Stripe to do some of the payment processing though? Or Stripe is integrating that, so
Yeah.
I'd imagine that you could probably do Apple Pay through Stripe in some sort of way. So
Yeah, it's going to just be an option in there. You've got
Yeah.
Well, but the barrier would be getting the information from the phone.
right.
I think. So,
Yeah, I guess they're storing that information directly on the device, right?
Yeah, but that seems pretty easy to put in Safari, wouldn't it? Because
yeah, but
Safari
Apple would have to let that happen. They'd have to put that in their Safari.
I think the biggest thing I noticed, though, to answer your initial question, was just like only taking credit card expiration and I think that's been the biggest thing to see conversions increase on mobile.
Yeah.
As the actual person who's accepting the money, you're opening yourself up to a little bit more risk there, but
yeah.
I mean, it seems like that's pretty reasonable. And just to answer your question, I mean, as long as you display the numeric keypad, I mean, it's probably even almost quicker for some people to enter a credit card on mobile.
What-
As long as there's no typing of address on it.
What percentage of people in the room are in like a technical business, like a web-based business? Advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what percentage of your business would you say comes from people that you consider to be generally tech savvy and can kind of handle these conversations?
Tell by my response. There's nobody in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like completely one side or completely the other. E-commerce site just worked on with these two guys. Chris and I were talking today. It was like, oh, you want to design the space by yourself? Can you write HTML? Yeah, just tell us, like, give us the parameters, and like they just take it. And then there's people on the other side that are just like, yeah, really tough.
So, what would you say the top 2, 3, 5 concerns are for clients that come in that have just no idea?
I want to be number one in Google.
I'd say that's a good one.
Like someone who, because there's those clients. We can say personally, there's definitely the clients who are just unwilling to learn. But for the people who are coming in with a good attitude and just legitimately know nothing because of the nature of their business, what would be the top handful of things that you would tell them to start looking at?
I think Joe's right on thinking about that. I think just a lot of people just start with business concerns is my biggest one. Not thinking like, oh yeah, I need this out of here, but not thinking about the other side of it and how they're going to actually have a user do something like that. But yeah, I would say that that's the number one concern. Or normally business values and what are they going to get back from it. Sometimes people actually don't even bring that up, but yeah, I would say mobile's probably been number 2. Everybody's kind of in that space, whether or not they think they need it or they have analytics. Sometimes they say they need mobile, and you ask them about their analytics, and they say what. So that's an interesting one too.
It's so funny how quickly that's changed too.
Yeah, exactly. Then on the other hand, there's people you talk to and they have like the exact numbers, they're spitting it right off. The interesting thing that we've seen lately is kind of, I think that 50-50 shift happened this year that a lot of people were calling, like the split between mobile and actual desktop. From a lot of the sites we're managing, yeah, I would say most of them are actually seeing that actual flip. Some are actually going way on the other side, and some are completely on the other side. Like us, our site is probably 90% desktop, which is very interesting. I guess I'm not surprised by that when people are looking. But.
So, of the clients that like clamor for some kind of mobile solution, what percentage of yours personally do you think really actually benefit from the additional cost?
I would say most, if not all. I mean, everybody's getting mobile visitors, so like if you have a desktop site that's a pain in the ass to use, even if for that 10%, I think it's worth it.